to Dice, Nerds, and Nagas, coming at you from the beautiful city of Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Dice, Nerds, and Nagas, the very same Dungeons & Dragons podcast that was played in the Saudi embassy to cover up the screams of murdered journalist Khashoggi. Dice, Nerds, and Nagas, a trusted source.
Shocked anymore.
No, why would anyone be shocked by that?
Completely desensitized.
Yeah.
You're not.
Like, a couple weeks ago, I would have been like, but now
Like, you know, because there's a lot of people in the waiting room still for normal business, so they gotta play something to cover up all the sounds of screaming and sawing and things.
Why? For the love of any deity you choose to follow. Why?
That's a good question, but I don't think viewers are interested in getting into that right now.
I don't think it has an answer.
No, not really.
Oh, God.
Anywho, though, so like I said, I warned you guys.
Did you though?
I did. I said this joke is gonna be a rough one.
It's just not enough warning for that.
I thought you meant the episode.
I did too.
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, the episode.
At least expanded in time.
The episode's gonna be pretty good, actually. We're gonna be getting off this castle.
Dice, Nerds, and Nagas, the official podcast of people going, I don't get it. What? I don't get it.
Where's that?
Why?
Yes,
It's the podcast for people that are really cool and have active social lives.
Oh, that's demonstrably
And a
false.
perfectly balanced moral compass. That's our fan base.
On the edge of the knife.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay. Please can we move on swiftly?
Okay, swiftly on we go to the land of Pharaoh in a world of magic and nonsense.
Are we in Eron? Like, what is this ocean
Well,
called?
I guess you're over the Sea of Swords right now. Yeah, maybe you're out past what people consider the Sea of Swords and the bigger ocean. The ocean of halberds.
Adjacent ocean of sheep.
Aren't there like
The Chimeric Ocean.
Yeah, I'm sure there have probably been a couple small little islands.
We've been looking for a giant turtle.
Yeah.
So
It's beneath our
I'm acting like total Columbus. Every time I see a new island, I'm just like,
I think this.
call that one.
So let's see.
It's like a spear with a little dwarf flag on it.
Yeah.
Mine.
Doing your best, Zeus.
Slow down.
Really?
When we were walking down those stairs, I was really, really tempted to just kick you off it. And then I realized there are no shadows. But I have to turn around to go get
But there's shadows in water. I can't teleport out of water.
Really? How far of a teleport range do you have?
No.
Let's go test this.
No.
Okay, so
We decided to spend day 3 just hurling Feather off.
More hurling.
Exploring Dwarven physics.
your strength goes up by one.
Then you get it.
Just for throwing him
Yeah,
over.
we do it
It's
over
really
and
great
over.
exercise. No, okay,
Cardio is
so
fantastic.
where we left off last time, though, our heroes had just talked with the leader of a tribe of dragon riders from, sort of undiscovered land far out west. And they learned more direct coordinates to reach Grandfather Turtle, who is currently on the move. And the rest of the day goes by relatively fine. The only real thing of note, I guess, is Amara is speaking to you about your order. And she tells you there's a lot of sort of rare material she's going to need to make this enchantment work.
Okay.
She's worked it out with the Queen of Springtime, and she's going to travel via portal to the city of Thay. That was my pen. So she needs to travel to Thay to get items for this blade. Try to kit you out with a decent sword, and she was wondering if there was any amount of money she could have to help her along with this task.
How much does she need?
would say for a powerful enchanted sword of this size that you want to be more lightweight while keeping its strength and all of this, I would say at least 2,000 gold pieces worth of value in ingredients.
Where is they? Where is they?
Far to the south, like further than Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate kind of sits across a bay from them.
Okay. Okay. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough. And you notice later that night that she is not at dinner or anything. She didn't tell you, but she went off and is in Bay right now. Shopping for ingredients, things like that.
Is there any point during Jason's fire gazing that his brother is more available?
I would say you're able to see that they were able to break through this gate house that he was assaulting.
Okay.
And so he has been basically busy with street-to-street combat in this new portion of Menzoberraz, and so he has been fighting for hours and hours.
Okay.
It depends on how long you can sit and watch, basically.
Well, I don't know. He needs to finish his book, and he's gonna probably get exhausted, but I think it's important to what he wants to do with his life, so he's gonna watch.
Okay, so for the whole day, whole night, till bedtime?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. So, the tide of battle changes many times over,
Okay.
and you are finally overcome with exhaustion and dry eye after all this time. Don't blink. And you find him cut off
Okay.
from the rest of his troops. The Drow had counterattacked and sort of split the district that they're fighting in.
Okay.
He is catching some sleep in a dark cellar, basically, in the basement of a large manor home that
Okay.
the soldiers have taken control of.
Okay. So this spell that she causes, I'm able to try to speak to him? Yeah. Or was it just reviewing?
You can try and speak to him.
Okay. Wake up, Aaron.
Okay.
I thought you were talking to me, and I was like, I'm awake. I'm awake.
Aaron.
He looks around a bit quizzically and pulls himself up into a sitting position. I'm listening.
How are you doing?
I've had better days, I think, but no serious injuries. Kid, what's going on? What's going on with you? What's the problem? Are you coming down now?
It's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. I was hoping you could give me a little older brother pep talk or something. I kind of don't really know what to do right now.
Well, I can't see you or anything right now. I can just hear you. So, where are you? What are you doing?
Well, we're currently in our flying castle thing. It's a long story, but I don't know. They're trying to find these artifacts that I think I mentioned to you before. I can't even remember if I did, but we're heading to find this turtle. Grandfather turtle is what it's called.
Can't say I've heard of the guy, to tell the truth.
Yeah, it's but yeah, we were on our way to you actually. Then a whole bunch of shit went down, and I made a decision to try and go to the old ancestral homeland to see if I could get a bit of help from the Fae, and that didn't work out so well. Feywild's gone. Gone.
Gone. Well, that's, guess I can cross that off my future vacation list then. No problem.
It just seems like every time I try to make a decision, everything just gets worse.
Hey, he's interested in me, you know. Man about town of Menzoberranzan. And now here I am with a bunch of stinky creatures, most of which don't have faces, and the others are brutish orcs that I think want to eat me if supplies run out.
Oh, that's no fun.
And I'm cut off in some hellish district of Menzoberranzan. But you know what? You know what I'm going to do?
What?
I'm going to catch some sleep. We're going to move out of here in the morning. Going to meet up with my guys. Cut our way through some drow, and keep doing it. Until I have Lolth herself dead at my feet.
Is this really true what they're saying? That she's taken possession of this priestess? Like it's Lolth?
I mean, I'd say so. I can't say that I'm really in tune with the drow society anymore, but the priestess's power levels have shot way up.
It's insane.
Yeah. Even, I can't remember the mad wizard's name.
Blackstaff.
Even Blackstaff is starting to get unsure. He's looking for alternate routes, basically, but I still say Menzoberranzan's the main way through.
Well, I don't know. So you're just gonna keep on doing what you're doing. I get that.
Now, you're saying you went to the Feywild, things didn't work out, right?
Yeah.
But these artifacts, do you think they work?
I don't know anymore, man. I mean, I have this thing that I've got in my head, but it helps me out in a certain amount, I guess. But it seems like we look for artifacts and more people die, and then we change our mind and try to do something else and more people die, and everyone just dies. And I mean, I know people die. That's not unusual, but it's like, yeah.
I mean, people die. That's what happens. You try to do good and it blows up in your face more often than not. But you still try and do good because it's the right thing to do. So if you think that these artifacts are going to work, go for it. If you don't think they're going to work, find a new solution to the problem you're facing.
Well,
That's all it is, right? It's a problem.
The only other thing that was in my mind, as crazy as it sounds, was trying to find a way to, I don't know, step up a level and see if I can take on Celine's mantle.
I don't really know anything about that. Ascending to godhood doesn't seem like such a sweet deal when all the gods keep dying around us, right?
Yeah, I know, but
A little presumptuous as well. I don't know. Do you think you're getting a little too big for your britches, little brother?
well, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like maybe somebody's got to do it. Other than that, a large part of me just wants to take this stupid thing from my head and give it to somebody else and just go to the mountains. I heard maybe I could find some answers with the Goliath about something that's been bugging me for a couple of years.
A Goliath. What has a Goliath ever had to say?
Apparently they're really good with, like, they've got some shamans up there that know about dreams and such.
Oh? Well, I mean, I hate to be that guy or whatever, but time's running out.
Yeah.
Blackstaff says the big guy is napping upstairs. Is that true?
Yeah, we saw him.
And you say that the Void Nagas killed the Feywild, destroyed it?
Yeah, it was pretty horrific.
Well, I don't think we have a lot of time for indecisiveness.
So what
Don't you agree?
Yeah, what do you think I should do?
I don't know, come down here, help me kill Lolth, and we'll freaking escape from this whole thing. Or find your own solution. Figure out what to do. Use your friends, right? I mean, I remember how you were before, and from what I've been hearing now, you guys are pretty unstoppable, right?
Well, I don't know about that. Maybe.
I don't know, we don't get so much news down here, but I've been keeping in contact with people, and I don't know, it seems like there's not a whole lot of time left. You gotta do something. You have to make a strong decision and stick with it.
You know, hear any news of a little halfling druid wandering around the Underdark, maybe try and find a way of letting me know.
I'll keep an eye out. There's not too many, surface-dwelling halflings down here.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the talk. I hope. Who knows? I'm gonna think about this a while. Maybe I'll try to find a way of seeing you sooner rather than later.
I'm all on board with that.
All right. Get some sleep.
Can do. I'm freaking exhausted today.
Okay. Love you.
Alright. Hey, are we all good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just put music right. I can't really decide these days what music run for wings. I'll just fucking end it later.
The night goes smoothly or whatever. In the morning, there is... I'm sorry?
Long rest?
Yeah. In the morning there's a small commotion as it seems that the Queen of Winter has disappeared.
Did you touch a frog? Pretty sure she'll be able to handle that. So there's a commotion. Are we all back at the table or whatever?
Yeah.
How is Trixie's patron? What is she saying? If Trixie goes and asks Lunaby about it.
Well, like I said, Winter Queen's gone. Not really sure who, what, or what got her. Maybe she ran off. Got tired of getting cooped up.
Out of the castle.
Work pills?
She is a powerful sorceress, one of the most powerful, I'd say, that I've ever seen. So, I don't think there's much that can hold her.
Do you think she was still all beat up about losing her husband, boyfriend?
I think I would hazard a guess and say that's what she's busy with right now.
Interesting.
I go straight to the...
That was just the speaker channel.
That was one of those dragons hitting the force field.
I go speak to Tatiana. And I'm like, did Genry say anything before she disappeared?
Look at this. She hands you a note, written in very clear script, signed from the Queen of Winter. I just can't stay away from him. I know things might be safer with Grandfather Turtle, but he's alive, and he wants me back.
Oh, God.
So, I'm off. I leave my court behind with you, sister. I know you'll take good care of them, but... Oh, Stygia is just the place for me. I can feel it.
Can you pass my coke?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I can tell...
Curious
Oh,
at
sure.
her. By the way...
Sorry. Sure, I'm sure you are. But should I tell the rest of the party?
Tell the party, don't tell the Fae folk.
Okay, I'll tell them it's not to be spread around.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, two of the Fae royalty disappearing like this? It's not good.
That's true.
It does not send a strong message to the others.
Who's the other one?
My brother.
Oh, right, of course, the Autumn Prince. I completely forgot about him.
As many have, and that's something I encourage.
Okay. Okay, I'll tell the party. I'll tell them not to spread it around.
Just continue on with your business, I suppose. Once we get to this Grandfather Turtle, we can make some new moves.
If the turtle's not safe, I'm going to ask you to stay in this castle. I mean, even if we can find a way to put it down somewhere safe. It has defenses according to the party.
I guess I do understand that. It's just really like some more private quarters of my own. Perhaps I can put an addition somewhere.
That is something that I'm not sure is actually possible unless we get like the person who built it.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see what can be done.
Yeah.
I can be quite crafty, you know.
Hang up a sheet somewhere.
I'm imagining like this monstrosity of like the castle being switched by admin and then Bartholomew coming through and just sketching stuff, and it's just like, your castle now has a top hat.
That's going to be like Howl's Moving Castle.
Okay, so I go and I find, specifically, Martin, Akul, and Feather.
Breakfast.
Breakfast.
Okay, so here's the thing. Because I'm in summer, okay, because I'm in my summer form, I'm not super trusting at the moment.
Summer's angry, right?
Yeah, very angry. And if I was in my autumn form, I would have been so much more trusting of Trixie, but I just tell them when I get them by themselves throughout the day what's happened.
So do you think that Timmy actually survived?
She wouldn't have gone if he wasn't there.
Yeah, that's, not sure. Maybe the warlock would probably be aware, but yeah, well, you would be aware, I guess. Killing a devil is probably something paladins or clerics are interested in. They can only be truly killed in their home plane.
Gotcha. So he was killed, but gotcha.
Yeah, he just flopped back in Stygia. Right as rain. Maybe a little miffed.
That was my
Maybe
favorite
a little more terrified of the Void Naga, probably.
Surely.
But yeah, still alive. So I would say, let's see, Trixie, you were speaking with Threnody, and she asks you maybe do something about that Corden, the pilot. He seems to know this castle quite well. And he does seem so lonely to me right now, don't you think? Sister being gone and all.
Well, sure I can do something.
Yes.
So you control the pilot, you control the castle.
The idea had crossed my mind.
Well, you know what they say, action.
Sure you can. So, Trixie will go and get some breakfast wine and find Corton.
Corton is up in the flight deck, you know, just doing Courtney things. He's gotten really good at throwing a card into a hat from across the room.
Wait, does Trixie have access to that?
I don't think so. That's from what I'm saying. She'll knock on the door.
Right?
On the wall.
So anyone can go into the control room?
We had to get admin rights to get up there specifically. Yeah.
Oh shit, you're right.
Just go on the intercom. Anybody can push it.
Yeah, anybody can push it.
I'll just dimension door side.
Alright, fair enough.
Yeah.
That actually will work, I think.
He's sitting there,
Did we try to do that before? I don't think we had dimension door in that.
It's a form spell.
But if you don't have the administrator thing with you, the defenses are going to start attacking you.
Are there defenses in the pilot section?
Surely there would be.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
You're kind of spoiling things fun here, guys.
More fun, man.
I'm not anti it. I'm very pro.
No. This is
more fun.
I can do this. I can
That's
rationalize these two very logical points together. Well, so you dimension door into the room. Corden is startled.
She, in my mind, she dimensions door directly onto a table and her legs across and she's got the wine.
Let's see, a small
flare.
little, what's the word I'm looking for? Really, gear, not steampunk, gizmo, clockwork. I think is the word I'm looking for. A small clockwork pixie sees you and immediately flutters back into the hole. Alarms begin to blare. Corden rushes over and puts his token into the walls. And the defense is shut down. What are you doing here? You can't just magic in here, lady. You gotta have, the right credentials.
Well, it looks like you've got the right credentials.
Well, yeah, I mean, I fly the ship.
About that, I've noticed you've been pretty sad in the intercom. I just thought I'd come cheer you up. I'm Trixie, by the way. I can't remember if we met or not.
I've seen you around a few times, that's for sure. You do cut a figure, I suppose.
I do try. Well, to be honest, I don't really try. It just kind of happens, but it's just one of those things.
Let's see how charismatic you are just in this scene overall.
Alright. Do you want me to roll?
Sure, roll it up.
Alright. Come on, Trixie. Am I rolling persuasion or just charisma? Or performance, either way.
I mean, that's up to Trixie, I guess. Is she being persuasive, or is she play acting, whatever?
I think persuasion, because I have a plus 13 to that. So that would be 32.
Okay, so this guy's putty in your hands, basically.
Okay.
Immediately. He's like, you know what? Wine sounds great right now, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So what is the end game here, then?
Ben's asking or Corton's asking?
I'm asking.
Okay.
What are your intentions with Corton?
Oh, she's totally gonna fuck him. Right there in the pilot's desk, and she's just gonna say that she wants to come see him more often, maybe learn about how the ship works. Well,
Okay, he is very much willing to do that. You notice his little halfling body just looks, he's in shape, but you can tell he's covered in horrific scars, missing a few digits on his feet. Just a battered up dude, basically.
Trixie finds all of that extremely charming.
Well, then, good for him,
She
then.
enjoys scars.
A fun time is had by all, and I would say Corton's trust goes up an immense amount, and just says, message on the intercom or something if you want to come up here.
Will do, handsome.
Okay.
She gives him a little wink and walks off.
So that happened.
There we go.
There you go, viewers.
We eagerly expect all the fan art.
Drow halfling bangathon in the cockpit.
We broke our podcast cherry, guys. It's the first banging on the podcast.
How many episodes are we in?
It's a lot, man.
This will be episode 2 or 3 of season 3 or something.
Corton
Getting close to the season.
did very average in bed. I rolled a 10. I imagine
He's
is it
probably
really
pretty tired.
strength, constitution, dexterity? I don't really know what stat would go toward it. One could even argue intelligence. Dex, yeah, sleight of hand.
Dex and Constitution.
So he is a roguish character. So I guess he did slightly above average in the sexing department. As far as sexing is concerned, he's just pretty okay at it.
So after that, Trixie is going to take just a little bit of time to change her familiar.
Right?
She's going to change Taku's shape to, it's essentially going to be an owl, but it's still going to have the octopus head.
Okay, an owl
And it will be purple.
puss.
Octal.
Yeah.
Octo owl.
So like a little owl with a Cthulhu head, basically.
Okay, very adorable. And so I would say, another day, another 1,000 gold or so or whatever. And then of course, moving on quickly. What's going on?
I'm trying the
Okay. So go for it. This one will be much more difficult than the first. Just gotta add.
What's your dex?
My dex is 5.
11.
So 22.
22. So you're working this thing over all day, and you don't sit off the defenses, but you aren't able to unlock it. And I guess the next big thing that happens is that Grandfather Turtle is sighted to the north of the castle.
Would I consider this a short rest?
Sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that would be.
Warlock spell slots, guys.
Yeah, Warlock. Yeah, you get like 2 of them by level 20.
Okay, Yeah. There's nothing else I really want to do besides.
Yeah, I figure we're all pretty well tired of being cooped up on this castle. Let's move on and get going with it. So a powerful storm rages in a cyclone around this island. I'd say some distance away from it. It's not on the island directly, but it's almost like a field of protective storm around it. It leaves a huge wake behind that is filled by just, millions more fish and wildlife following Grandfather Turtle.
Would I be able to cut a hole through the storm?
With Cloud Slicer? Yes. With my hands.
Sweet shot. It'll take 30 minutes to take effect.
Okay, no problem, but so I would say you guys probably all come up to observation. Gordon's called you all up here. He very quickly undoes the alarms when you enter. Like, nope, I remember last time. And so basically, if you guys wait a while, you can see a great number of the Fae are interested in seeing this, and many of them line the walls and towers, kind of watching the storm rage on ahead, and this floating island behind them. Every now and then a tail or huge fin-like hand, rises up from the water and splashes back down. Once the 30 minutes is up, though, you are able to just part this storm enough for the castle to enter in. Do you want to go ahead and go for it?
Do you think we might need to be able to breathe water?
On the turtle?
Well, yeah, we're going to be near the ocean. I can just sit around for 10 minutes. I can just give it to her straight out.
Well,
Yeah, you got the time when he was doing this.
Yeah,
So,
everybody's chilling.
I'd say, you can give everyone water breathing on people.
So everyone can breathe water. Sweet.
But the air is poisoned now.
I walk around and gurgle water.
Oh my god, I can totally breathe it without drinking it. This is amazing. Let's see. So, basically, parting the storm.
4 hours.
Okay.
Castle swoops down at high speed, trying to keep pace with this giant creature. And from what you can see, it looks like a beautiful tropical island, covered with colorful coral formations. Emerald green lagoons dot the far surface of the island, and steep cliffs ring all the way around. Let's see, give me a perception check. Wow.
As we're landing, can I just use Skyride to write big in the air, "We come in peace"?
Sure. Yeah, that's no problem.
21.
Alright.
13.
13.
16.
16. Perception.
I did not roll high.
Alright. So, those of you that rolled pretty well, you notice that you can see cook fires on one side of the island, and several dwellings carved into the coral mountains. There is a small settlement on one side of the island, and flocks of seabirds almost block the sky, forming clouds above the island, just following it at pace. So yeah, that's what you guys see as you come in. You find a small, open-looking landing area, big enough for the castle to land, and it's somewhat close to the settlement nearby.
Do we have slow-moving stairs?
What was the highest perception roll?
Possibly mine.
It was 18?
21.
21. So you, though, alone were able to see a small tower on the far side of the island. Say, the settlement is a bit closer to you, with the many cook fires, but there is what appears to be a pink little spire jutting out on its own, with carved windows.
I'd like to suggest that everybody stays in the castle besides us. If you'd like to come with us, Trixie. And we go and see what's going on first. And then find out if there's some way that there's space for the Fae people.
Or just the land. Yeah.
No, we've got a place to land. I just want to
there are
make
a few
sure.
places.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that it's safe before we let all our people out of the castle. So I'm going to ask Corton to let down the defenses for us, so we can leave and then put them back up again.
That sounds reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that sounds reasonable to everyone, right?
Yeah. Further? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So, you are able to land some short distance from the village, and the landing gear is deployed. You're able to exit onto what is a sandy outcropping near the edge of a cliffside. A warm breeze blows through the air in contrast to the harsh winter that's been raging elsewhere. And there is kind of a scent of the sea and lilacs floating through the air. In the distance, you can see maybe there is a path sort of carved out from the coral. It's in little like cobblestones leading toward the settlement that you saw, and branching off in another direction toward the less inhabited side of the island that is dotted with lagoons and the solitary tower that you saw.
Can I send my little owl to go scope out the tower? Oh wait, we don't know about the tower. You know about the tower.
Yeah,
Never
that's
mind.
anything it.
So, towards the settlements, yeah?
Cool.
Yeah. I've seen You're Familiar, but have I seen it now?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty hard to miss this owl with an octopus.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, okay.
Does it have wings?
Of course it has wings.
So it's
Purple.
wings, and then...
An octopus head.
Like
No.
a Cthulhu head.
The head.
I was picturing this very differently in my head. I got you.
A mind flayer head almost.
Almost, yeah.
That is,
Lovecraft.
unique.
You want to pet him?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay,
I mean, there seems to be a path. I think we go down the path, and we do not do any stupid things to the settlement. And just kind of say, hey.
yeah, I just want to, before we go, can you communicate with your familiar?
More or less, in a certain amount of connected players in, but in a certain distance. Oh wait, I've got my thing here.
Because I saw, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but there's like a interesting little tower that way, to the other side, towards the other side of the island, and I, if possible, would like to ask you, Trixie, to have your bird go check it out. Because I've got my bird, but I think it would be important for us to have one of ours around us, you know.
How far away is this tower?
I would say walking, maybe 2 hours, but for your familiar, it would be much faster, maybe 30 minutes?
So the range...
I don't know.
The range
I-
of
it's
telepathy, is 100 feet, but I can use my sight, and so it doesn't give a range on letting me use it.
You're not a chain warlock, are you?
No, this is just the traditional one. So additionally as an action, you can see through the familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of your next turn.
But that's not telepathy, so
yeah,
it still would work from a distance, I'd say.
Yeah. So the way I've always seen it is that you can communicate with them and give them directions up to 100 feet,
Yeah.
and then after 100 feet, you can't like tell them to do anything.
Yeah.
They just follow whatever you've given.
But you can still see through them.
So I'll just communicate with the taco. Go and have a look at that tower, honey, and see what you can see, and then I'll ride along with you and then come back. So, Angel Boy, mind giving me a lift? Because I can't see while I'm doing this.
Sure.
She'll get the shoulders. Thank you.
Like chicken fight style, or?
Okay.
So she's like a passed out, like, you know, like, woo, woo. Fell asleep on your shoulders at the
I don't
concert.
fall asleep, I go blind and deaf. So I'm holding on.
Okay,
You
cool.
have to be doing that the whole way.
I'm just going to do that until I do the recon and then come back. You guys can keep moving towards wherever you're moving. I'm just doing the recon at the tower.
Alright, so, you guys are walking toward the village. It takes a little bit of time. Well, what you're seeing is flying over a lot of rugged area. You know, there's several peaks of blue and pink coral on the island.
Okay.
And she flies past a lot of scrub land until coming to a collection of, emerald green lagoons. And among the lagoons is a small tower, maybe 3 or 4 floors high, carved out of pink coral, a few rough windows, and around it a beautiful garden where your familiar can see an elven man tending to the garden.
Okay.
He wears simple robes, and all around him you can kind of, even through your familiar, you can see sort of an air of sadness and regret on this man.
Okay.
Let's give him your familiar stealth check.
A stealth check, okay. I thought the perception was 17. Stealth. 16.
Alright, you circle around the tower a few times trying to get a closer look inside, perhaps. And you can see your familiar perches on one of the windows in the upper floor, and you can see what looks to be a very simple little bedroom with many ancient-looking scrolls and books lining the walls on bookshelves.
Okay.
All at once, familiar feels a magical force kind of surround it.
I dismiss it.
And it dismisses.
Anything happen while I was gone?
Nope, we're just walking.
You are reaching the edge of the village.
We're getting really close though.
So there's it seems to be a sad elven man living there. And it's a nice tower. There were a whole lot of books and such in this place. And started feeling a little bit of magic, and brought it up.
Magic.
What's the name again?
Otaku.
Otaku. Really? Really?
So, okay, cool, that's good to know. There's somebody else here who's got magic. That's cool. Let's go talk to these villagers and see.
He seems to be just gardening. I don't really know what his deal is.
Okay.
So, the small village, it seems very tranquil, very relaxed, carved out of, the coral. This whole island's basically like a giant coral reef, basically. Carved away in certain places, there are about 8 to 12 scattered dwellings that you can see. Fish cooking on some campfires, and a small little area where the cliffs aren't very high, just and you can see a few people fishing off the edge of the water.
Is anyone coming out to greet us?
No one's coming out to greet you right now. You can see a few people milling about. Some look at you kind of quizzically and
Waving from the top of Uncle's shoulders.
Alright, so you're waving as you approach?
Yeah.
Oh. How sad. So you see the couple that was fishing puts their poles down, reels it in, sits them down, and comes over to greet you guys. You can see it is very large, very burly looking half-orc woman and a dwarven man.
Hello.
Hey there, what brings you all the way out here? This is
That is
not an easy place to get to, huh?
Yeah, it was fun.
Says the man.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm Marta. What's your name?
Trixie.
Well, no, I know your name.
No, I'm introducing myself. I wouldn't know his name as well.
Alright, Marta, Trixie, what about the rest of your friends?
Oh, cool.
Perdita.
Ita, well, nice to meet all of y'all, I guess. Well met. My name's Ungar. This here's Neela. I guess we're kind of the unofficial welcoming committee for New Haven. Kind of a dumb name, don't you think? But someone came up with it a long time ago and it stuck. It's true, this place is kind of a safe haven for people.
Well, that ties in well to
So it's
why
called
we're
safe
here.
Really? Well, I mean, I suppose there's some room for you guys around here. see if we can split you up, 1, 2, 3, maybe into 2 dwellings.
Nice.
You've got 2 houses.
Well, okay, one thing at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, are you aware? Are you aware of the Feywild?
Oh, yeah, we've actually been there before.
Oh, awesome. I'm sorry to tell you, it is destroyed.
Yeah. Didn't
But
much care for us,
there
to
are
tell the
some
truth.
refugees from the Feywild who are with us that were looking for somewhere safe to be, which is the primary reason why we are here.
Neela kind of grunts, ugh, elves. Lots of elves is what she's saying to me, that's what I hear.
Lots of Fey.
Well, lots
We
of
can put it on the other side and put a wall between.
Oh, no, honey. Segregation is not good for anybody.
Ungar actually does kind of like, hey, we accept all kinds here, even if they're elves.
Yeah.
There's roughly, how many of them are there? 200?
200.
Yeah, it's a lot, but
Lots, yeah.
This is a little outside of our scope, I think,
Yeah.
It's not going to be forever.
Sounds like you guys need to talk to the big man himself.
How do we do that?
the big man, you mean the turtle, grandfather turtle?
Yeah, well, thing is though, he doesn't talk to people he doesn't like, but, people he doesn't like don't usually make it on the island.
Like,
So it's either the transitive property who'll probably talk to us.
I think so.
Sweet.
Yeah, let's just, yeah, we need to get old Quintus and Sarah over here. They're the ones that speak for Grandfather Turtle.
okay.
Yeah, they're probably up closer to his head, up front. It's kind of funny, most people on islands, they say, oh, north, south, east, west. We just say front, back, left, right. It kind of makes sense still to us.
Okay, well, which road should we follow?
Only one road here. Just follow it. It'll take you a pretty nice route, I guess, through the island, and take you up near old GT's head.
Ungar,
Grandfather Turtle. I said GFT.
Ungar, grandfather is one word. Ungar.
Yeah, but it's... I feel like you're dropping the whole father part if you just say GT.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
How long have you been here?
Oh, gosh. Must be 80, 90 years, maybe?
Goodness. Quite some time then.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people come by, actually.
Really?
There were... these wizard folks came through. One of them's still living in the village, actually. I can't rightly say what happened to the others.
Oh, really?
And Malin, she's pretty new. Yeah, so we got a lot of new people, I guess. 2. That's a lot for us.
Well, you might have another 200.
How many people live here on Grandfather Turtle?
Oh gosh, me and Neela, old
This
James,
could take a while.
Malin,
Let's say if you were going to guess.
Quintus and Tara,
Estimate.
and old Sam, but he doesn't really count, So there's like 8, 9 of us, maybe.
Oh.
Who's the sad man who lives by the tower?
Oh, that's old Sam, yeah. Now, I don't really know much about him. He keeps to himself, and we're told not to bother him, really. I think he has he's friends with Grandfather Turtle, though, from what I understand.
It looks like he needs cheering up. You guys never try to throw him a party or anything? Bring him some beer?
No, I guess we could bring him a fish or something, but I don't think I think he's all set up for that.
How long has he been here?
Gosh, longer than us. Longer than anyone that's been here.
Okay.
Even before Quintus. Sarah.
Oh my goodness. Before Quintus. That must be such a long time.
So there's Quintus and Sarah, the people that talk to Grandfather Turtle?
Yeah, they're the main ones that work through him.
Shall we go see that?
Let's go.
Yeah, if you want to talk to the new guy, though, he was one of the wizards. His name was AJ. You can just find him inside. I know, AJ, right?
AJ survived.
Ungar, Neela, those are normal names. But AJ, what does that even stand for?
Elrit, Jeremiah.
Adult juvenile. Well,
So all men.
yeah, pretty much. Let's go speak to Quintus and Sarah.
Okay.
Took me a little bit. I was
So they point you down the path. They say Quintus and Sarah actually headed out already today, so you'll probably find them either going toward Grandfather Turtle or heading back from him. Back to the village. So you'll run into him if you just follow the path.
Okay, just side note. So we parked our Flying Castle
Ooh.
that way. I would just not recommend anyone mess with it because.
Well, dang, I'd kind of like to see that.
I
though.
mean, I'm just saying, wait for us, and we'll give you the tour. It's got lots of defenses. I just don't want anyone to get hurt.
Oh, sure. We'll pass it along. Make sure no one bothers your things. No problem.
Yeah, you will get a tour
For a bit.
Yeah, fair enough. Like I say, we're pretty easygoing folks down here usually. There's not a lot of fighting or anything going on. Not anymore.
It's very nice.
You know what?
It's a good change of pace.
You guys are probably sent here by Grandfather Turtle to find Brandon.
Who's Brandon, honey?
Oh, he went missing. Yeah, he was out swimming with Malin. It's James' boy. And he hasn't been back for days now. So, maybe you can help find him or something.
Do you know where they're swimming?
Out at the lagoons out west. On the left side, I guess.
Is it near where the tower is?
Sort of. We know to stay away from his tower. He's a good boy. He knows the rules. But, either way, like I said, talk to Grandfather Turtle about it. He'll probably know right where he is. Just needs to go be fetched.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Right.
Off we go.
Okay, so traveling down the path, you can see lots of seabirds kind of watching you guys as you cross around. A lot of it is actually just a carved path through solid coral walls on either side. Widening, shrinking as it goes. And eventually you come across a duo walking the opposite direction towards you. A large reptilian, short-snouted fellow and a human woman. Both of them dressed in golden scale armor, wielding spears and shields.
Is he a dragonborn?
No. Not exactly, no. He seems to be a breed apart from either of
Alligators
those.
are kind. Are you just gonna keep guessing? Hello, you must be Quintus and also Sarah?
Yes, that's us.
Oh, hi, I'm Marta.
Yes, Grandfather Turtle told us that you're expected. Let you through.
Excellent. That makes it so much quicker.
It really does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And honestly, seeing that castle you guys flew in on and stuff like that, I don't think we'd want to fight you anyway.
Did you see the message?
Yeah, we did catch that. Yeah, that helped a lot. It did. I think it put people at ease, honestly.
Did it?
They can be a little scared of outsiders usually.
And
Fair.
flying castle, it's not common.
If I saw writing in the sky that was like, hey guys, chill, I would be so much more freaked out.
Mars attacks. We're not riding. We are your friends.
Yeah, so we do that. We go to Grandfather, also Turtle.
Grandfather, also Turtle. Right, so they allow you to pass by with any difficulty, and...
Do they accompany us, or do they just point us?
No, they just... Well, yeah, you know what, they'll accompany you. You know what, we'll come out here, things have been a little strange lately. You never know.
Can I make a history check just to see if I've ever seen anything that looks like one?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask. Is he from the Fae?
Him? No, he's not from the Feywild.
No, never. That's 7.
Okay,
I don't know what he is.
Yeah. Cool.
let's see, does anyone else want to find out what he is? Actually, it's not super important, really.
No.
Nope. I got a 4.
Okay.
I'll go first.
So you're sitting there scratching your heads like, man, what are you?
Summoner?
He looks super familiar to you, though.
Oh.
You know that you've seen this race of creatures before.
Hey, so this might be a super
Short little tail,
question.
short snout, very different than others.
So sorry. Hopefully this is not rude, but what race are you? Like what kind of people are you from? It's not really like sorry.
I get that.
There's not really like a good way to phrase it, but I'm very curious.
Perfectly understandable, young woman, yes. I get this question all the time. We called ourselves the Saurians back in the day, but it was a long time ago.
Where did we meet a bunch of Saurians? Was that in the Walled City?
What's a Saurian?
Oh,
Was that the Walled City?
ancient race. Very ancient. Great conquerors, mighty warriors.
Was the Lydian Saurians?
Sadistic bastards, though.
The Saurians were
How are you
raised that
here?
assembled words.
As a sword.
Well,
no, those are the Cinnamon Indians.
Well, cross-talk. So, I was just thinking about that. Been here, gosh, roughly 8,000-9,000 years?
You just get turtle.
Don't you age?
Not here, no, nobody does.
Oh god.
Not in Grandfather Turtle's Island.
Oh.
I know
No,
I'm retiring.
But, I'm honestly ashamed to even admit it, but I ran one of the slaving ships back in the old empire, and we fell afoul of a mighty storm. Swept us up against the shoreline here, and me and Sarah were the only ones to survive.
And you were the first two.
We were. Well, that's something that's always bothered us. There were dwellings here already when we arrived, but no one here. Grandfather Turtle never said anything about who lived here before.
What do you think? How long's the cycle?
What about that man that they say has been here for a while? That's Sam. Was he here when you got here?
Yes. Yes, he was. He's the only other one, I suppose, who's been here longer than us.
I am intrigued.
Okay, well, let's go talk to Grandfather Turtle.
So another, couple hours goes by, walking with the Saurian and the human across the paths of Grandfather Turtle's Island, until finally you come to the edge of his shell, and an enormous head rises up from and breaks the water tension or whatever. Huge, spiky turtle face, enormous, kind-looking eyes, but a fearsome exterior.
Hello? Hello?
I would say, yeah, its whole head is probably the size of a mountain, practically. And
I'm a little bit scared.
in a booming, raspy voice, welcomes you to his island, and asks what your purpose here is.
Oh, well met, Grandfather Turtle. I am Lily to Styrofoam, Niladrin from the Feywild. You may or may not be aware of the fact that the Feywild has fallen.
I've heard.
My queen has sent me to beg help of you, that she and her survivors of her court may perhaps find a safe haven here with you and your people until we can try and figure out a way to get the Feywild back, if that's even a possibility.
My heart breaks for the Fey kind and their loss. But what they ask for is something I cannot provide any longer.
Why not?
I find that I've grown quite ill over the last few months, perhaps even the last few years, and now a child, one of mine, Brandon, has gone missing. I believe it's all connected. Thus, if I cannot protect even my own children, what hope is there for the Fae?
Can we try to find him for you?
Where could he have gone?
Yeah.
Perhaps even the Fae could assist with their own protection.
With protecting you.
Yeah.
The Summer Queen is powerful.
No, this is no mortal sickness that can be cured with magic. I feel myself being torn apart from the inside. Blood trails in my wake, and I know the culprits.
What are they?
It is the Void Naga. His minions have infiltrated my body itself. They tear at me, ripping me to pieces, but to what end, I don't know.
Can we stop them? Is there a way to stop them? Is there a way to stop them from getting back in?
It's too dangerous, perhaps. Others have tried to cure me of my ailment, but only one has returned.
We have encountered the Nagas before. We have fought too.
I love his name.
A boast, but a true one, perhaps. You feel that you're up to the task of saving my life?
Absolutely. A
Maybe
creature
so.
such as yourself.
We also seek the Heart of Danesha.
Ah, so that is why you're here then. I can feel it, you know, the approaching doom. But again, it happens again and again. Yes, do this for me, and the Heart of Danesha will be yours.
And the Fae can stay.
And the Fae can stay here.
Can you tell me more about what the Heart of Danesha is?
I was going to ask the same question.
It's like renting or something.
A powerful artifact. Older than this world, older than the last world. Perhaps older than all worlds. But through every cycle, it travels, finding its way into great heroes' hands as they try and stop the doom that lays waste to their worlds. And it seems that is one of my tasks, to distribute this trinket endlessly. Well, it will happen again, I suppose, though. You are much later than others that have come before you.
Much later.
Much later. But the Void Naga pauses in its destruction. So perhaps there is hope still.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's go.
So,
You mentioned one returned.
Yes. It was a human man, I believe, by the name of A.J. Backwater.
Where is this edge of water? Maybe we can find out what happened.
He lives back in the village that you came from.
Yeah.
But he still doesn't go out very much. He's a bit withdrawn.
And your friend Sam?
He is close to me, much like family. That is all you need to know.
He can't help you?
He cannot help anyone, not anymore.
Okay. Well, sorry, Quintus.
Yes?
Could you tell us anything that AJ might have told you? Because I fear that going back to the village to speak to him will be a great waste of time.
Well, what I understand is his party went in, they fought one of the Nagas that was plaguing our Lord, and it retreated, and they followed it deeper and deeper into the bowels, I suppose, of Grandfather Turtle.
Good.
But the corruption was deeper than they expected, darker than they could have imagined. And one by one, they were picked away to an uncertain fate. But probably not anything good, I would imagine.
But AJ managed to get away.
He was able to escape once the Naga dove deeper into Grandfather Turtle. He turned back. He told them it was folly to continue. But they didn't listen.
Interesting, okay.
to be fair, some wizards probably didn't understand what was going on.
Some bird like that.
Some birds probably were just repeating the same phrases.
Should we go? Should we go? Should we go? Should we go? Should we go?
The music just feels like really really heavy.
Yeah, if you want to know more about the wizards, they were in a previous episode. It was kind of a one-shot we did. So.
Anyway.
So let's see. It's what do I say? I can play till about 2:30 maybe. Does that work for you guys?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go find Naga.
Okay, so options. Brandon, AJ, just pop forward and go to the Naga.
I think we should go straight for the Naga.
Do you want to send this AJ a note with your bird?
Can?
There's more than one Naga, right? Confessing.
Tell you what.
AJ himself had not seen, but
If he has any more information for us, just send a note back.
I don't know. I think that AJ would have told Quintus everything that Quintus told us.
People can be a little bit reticent when their entire group dies before their eyes.
Sure. I just feel like if we're going to be helping, from what Grandfather Turtle said, we're running out of time. And that most of the people who came to get this amulet have normally come earlier and they still failed. So if we have any chance of saving Grandfather Turtle, getting this amulet and then getting to the Void Naga, we need to actually...
I have only one question. Do you have healing potions?
Some of us have, I think.
I just have just healing.
I have some.
there's a lot of healing in this group actually. Yeah.
We're pretty.
Not anymore, as much as they used to be.
I want to ask Grandfather Turtle if, and Quinn and Sarah, do you have any effects of Brandon's clothing, hair, something that would be attached to Brandon?
Refuge.
Sarah
Describe.
kind of looks at Quintus thoughtfully. Yes, Quintus, that's who it was.
I tried his name up.
And it's okay. He doesn't mind. Happens all the time.
I haven't said La Quinta yet, so we're still good.
But
Quinoa.
she reaches in her pack and actually pulls out a pair of undergarments.
Okay.
And sniffs them.
I mean, you can sniff them if you want. She's not intending this. These were found by the lagoon that he disappeared. Yeah.
So, like, he took off his clothes to go swimming, and they picked it up from the beach. Cool. So, I'm gonna bust out the crystal ball and sit down somewhere for 10 minutes and attempt to scry for Brandon.
Okay.
So that way I can tell.
That's really interesting.
Take a little 10-minute breather, I suppose, sitting on Grandfather Turtle, feeling the warm breeze, warm tropical breeze roll in.
So you have his pants.
His undergarments, yeah.
Never mind, that's just too weird a question. I'm just gonna go with yeah.
Jockstrap.
His undies.
I haven't met the target.
No, I've never met him before. Maybe in a past life.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how this works.
You have something to belong to.
Let me take a
Because
look.
you can willfully
There's some
fail it, but it
You can say-
modifies via on what you have and how you know, but it doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you have something of theirs, it modifies -4. It seems like you have to make it easier to succeed instead of fail.
No, you've got to make a roll, and he's got to make a roll.
So let's see.
So the
Target must make a wisdom
bonus
save.
is get
The
put on
target makes a
yours.
wisdom save.
Yeah.
I don't think I rolled.
So basically, you have a possession or garment, which gives -4.
I do.
You know him second hand,
Oh, okay, wait. No,
which is
I
+5.
I understand. It's a -4 to what he rolls, not a -4 to the save. I got you. I was trying to modify the save. Okay, so it would be +1 to a save. DC 17 wisdom.
Okay. He
This one to say for him.
fails.
Yeah.
Or he gets lower than that. No.
Yeah, if they fail, then it works. And then what I have modifies their roll
So
against
you
mine.
get an extra +1.
Yeah, he gets an extra +1 because I don't know Brandon personally.
Yeah.
But I
But
do
you have
have
his
guard,
underwear.
so
Okay.
it equals out +1.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see
Okay, so I can see and hear this creature. It creates an invisible sensor within 10 feet of the target. You can hear and see through the sensor as if you're there. It It moves with the target remaining within 10 feet. Only creatures that can see invisible items or objects will be able to see it. So I can see and hear Brandon wherever he is within 10 feet. If he's moving, it moves with it.
Okay, fair enough. So, oh god, this is rough. Okay, the next.
So I've got my crystal ball. I'm sitting there against the thing, and I'm just like.
So, in the crystal ball, I imagine, can everyone else see what's going on?
I don't think so.
No,
Because I don't think it's showing
Yeah.
in the crystal ball. I think that's just the focus.
So what you see is a rather disturbing sight. You see Brandon laying on a pile of writhing, bloody snakes. A woman with scaled skin, huge yellow eyes, and long fangs is riding him in a sexual way.
That's terrible.
While scraping and just taking out big chunks of flesh from his chest and shoulders.
That's really
He
terrible.
seems to be unconscious.
Really bad for seeing it.
Private moment. Interrupted.
Can I tell anything about where they are?
It seems to
How old
be.
is Brandon? That's gonna affect how
So,
bad
I don't know,
what's going
when
on.
he said Brandon, I pictured like a 20-year-old.
I pictured
Yeah, roughly 18 to 21.
I was actually picturing a kid, so I was just like, oh fuck.
No, 18 to 20.
This is much better than
He went off skinny dipping with one of the inhabitants of the village and got captured up.
I feel slightly less
Yeah, it's not a child.
overwhelmed.
I have just a general question. What does Trixie know about the cycle, all that type of shit, and the things that have been happening? I don't know what she knows.
I would say you probably, if you've learned anything about the Void Naga, it would be, from the Fae in the castle recently.
Okay.
So you would know what they know about it.
Okay.
But to you, the cycle was simply giants attacking it first.
Okay.
That was the initial thought that most of the council in Waterdeep had.
Right. Okay.
It's only very recently that people are doubting that it's only giants.
Side question. In the castle, are there still any images of Modok?
He seemed like a guy that loved mosaics of himself,
So
yeah.
Trixie would know whose castle this was.
Roughly, yeah.
Okay.
So,
Have a suspicion at the very least.
Okay.
over this absolutely terrible 10 minutes, do I see anything about where?
It seems that the snake pile is,
Does it look interior to Grandfather Turtle?
yes, soft,
That's where it looks
soft, clammy, wet flesh, the walls as well.
Could I remember it well enough that if I saw it, I would know where this was, basically? Like, I'm not saying I would know,
I would
be
say
able to
so.
intuit where it was, but like, if I saw it again in the real life. Not just fantasy. Cool.
Could you double up the scry now that you've seen him with the locate person?
Ooh, good question.
Oof.
You have looked.
Oof. Let me look at that spell. See if that's how that works.
You get a ping within 1,000 feet, yeah?
It's only 300 meters.
It's a bit bigger than that.
Yeah, but I mean, once you're close enough, you can...
Let me look.
Like, let you know what direction they're in, I guess. I would
I'm
say.
not sure if I'm remembering it.
You mean like that?
You're thinking clairvoyance and Skyrim.
Yeah,
My favorite spell.
It's
That's
I like that.
So,
Sense the direction if it's within 1,000 feet.
I want to know exactly where everything is.
so you actually wouldn't be able to sense the direction if it was out of that range. So it might be a pretty dicey proposition to try it. It could potentially be a waste of magic, but
So stand in the middle of the turtle.
The big ass turtle.
yeah, it's an island, big
Well,
ol'
I
island.
don't know if that counts. It can locate a specific creature known to you. Okay, so if you describe one that is familiar to you, you can do it within 10,000 feet, or 1,000 feet. And then it says it can locate a specific creature as long as you've seen them up close with at least once. It's,
I think we can worry about that later, honestly.
yeah.
Yeah. So moving on. So you've done this. You've seen that Brandon is unwell, I guess.
Yeah, so
You've seen that he's
I
unwell.
describe to him, I say, he's in a very terrible situation. It appears that perhaps he's inside Grandfather Turtle, but there is a woman there, and she is brutal and savage.
snaky woman.
One T, says Quintus, and you at the same time, I think.
Yeah. I was trying to think of their name, and I couldn't think of it.
Both come to that. He said, "There's."
Oh, so is it not the woman that
I was gonna say, have I ever seen her before?
Howlin?
No.
Okay. Because there is the one team.
Not Nicholas, no. Quintus says that's what Malin was saying. She said, "Folks with big yellow golden eyes took Brandon. Been looking all over for him though ever since and haven't found him."
Well, it seems like we should go in because that's where he is.
Okay. Yeah, crazy shit.
Sure. You guys seem like we need a little bit of pick me up before we go. Gather around, everyone. Play us a little song.
How long is it gonna get there?
We can do it while we walk. It's
Oh, okay, cool.
Just put us in a better mood. I'm gonna just give them play a little song on mine. You might have seen before. She's got a little like. You guys ever seen the music video "Moon" by Bjork?
Maybe.
She has like this instrument that she built specifically because she does that a lot with lots of instruments. But it's kind of like a little bit of a harp thing, but it works on a belt.
Okay.
And Trixie as well.
Nice.
Belt harp?
She starts playing her belt harp,
Belt harp.
and you get inspiration. You get inspiration. You get inspiration. You get inspiration. The other one I'm going to save for cutting words, if anything.
Okay, so you guys, Grandfather Turtle kind of locks his head up basically, so you can jump down from the shell onto his neck. And then around kind of a stairway of barnacles going down the side of his head into his open waiting mouth.
I'm also
It's only a
casting
D6 right now.
8 on you 3.
8.
8.
So that's
You get
3.
Everybody's getting looked up.
Before we leave, I write a little note to the Queen,
Okay.
and I send it with my bird back.
What does the note say?
The note says,
roughly?
we're going
one
into
maximum
Grandfather Turtle
increases by 15.
to fight a Naga.
You know, Trixie has 16 on hit points.
I didn't know that.
You're
I
safe.
can only pick 3.
And he has like 5 bajillion.
Yeah, I'll switch to you. You're right, you
I
have
have
15.
58.
I don't know why I would give it to you.
Anyway,
No,
So
I haven't.
you have 15.
You've got
And Max
Yes,
has
so you're sending a note
Yeah.
to Queen Titiana.
so the note to Titiana says, it's safe to come out the castle. We've gone to fight a Naga inside Grandfather Turtle. Maybe speak to Grandfather Turtle if we're not back in a while.
Okay,
Yeah, that's it.
that's totally fair. Right, so, you guys have entered the domain, the body of Grandfather Turtle himself. You know, days and days of traveling over the ocean, burning gold and gems, dealing with problems, and it all comes down to this. Sitting in a ginormous turtle's throat, as its tongue kind of slides a bit under you guys. Say, I'll try not to swallow any water for a while, wash you all away.
Might
We
get
can
us
breathe.
there faster.
But we could breathe.
Might get us there faster. Maybe we should ask him to do that.
Yeah. So we can breathe.
We can breathe
We
underwater.
can breathe on water. Could you swallow some water so that we can head down to...
The stomach?
Yeah, faster.
Is that where we need to go?
That's
Is
it.
that where we
need
need to go?
I think. They said, what's
How are we in the trachea or the larynx?
Yeah, let's
Okay,
walk.
now I'm going to preface this whole dungeon basically by saying I don't know turtle anatomy very well. And I barely understand any human anatomy. So it's
Yeah,
gonna be
let's walk.
rough.
Okay, fine.
It's not gonna be
Where-
medically accurate.
Where specifically are we heading?
But
Towards the heart?
it tells you.
The bowels.
He's telling us. He's telling us.
Yeah. He replies, and you hear his voice rumbling in his throat. My breathing has been raspy. Check the lungs first.
Okay.
That's where the infection is strongest, I believe.
Cool, so being swallowed
Where I
breathe
can,
not.
where I can feel it the hardest.
Oh, good. The lungs are close, so, that's cool.
How is everybody for seeing, by the way?
For what?
Seeing.
Sight.
Oh, I can
Dark.
see fine.
I can see fine.
I could use some help.
Okay.
I mean, unless we want to light this up, I can light some stuff up.
It's
But
okay.
Yeah,
I can do.
Me and Perdita, like 20 feet.
Oh, I didn't last a minute? Seriously?
screw that.
Dancing lights, I didn't last a minute.
Isn't it a cantrip though?
Yeah, but it requires concentration. That's silly.
Oh, okay.
That is silly. So
Light something up and just hang back.
I am going to cast continual
Can
flame.
I viciously mock a cantrip?
So I cast continual flame,
No.
which creates torchlight, and it continues until it's spelled.
Okay.
It's continual flame. It cannot be. It can be covered or hidden, but not smothered.
So what object are you going to do it from?
Warhammer.
Okay. So I'm going to
No,
take a
actually, I want to do my own head. I'll just enshroud my head in flame.
Your head is on fire currently.
Ghost Rider.
Okay, so our heroes have entered Grandfather Turtle's throat to root out the infection, the parasites that have been plaguing him for so long, causing all these issues. And I would say it's a rather quiet little journey for a while. I'd say nearly 2 hours of just quiet walking down this slick, almost cave-like tunnel, going deeper and deeper into Grandfather Turtle's bowels. When? Oh, okay, thank you.
We're sneaking ahead if anybody wants to know.
Oh, and just in case anyone
20 to 30 feet in
was...
front of them.
So you guys are staying ahead of it?
Yeah.
So it would be you two that notice first a strange, shadowy figure approaching from inside from deeper in the throat, coming toward you.
How big?
Humanoid, maybe a little shorter than an average human. A little taller than you. It's just dark in here, I guess. But you have dark vision and stuff. You guys are well prepped for this, so you can see that it's a crow kind of looking bird wearing robes of the Wizard College of Waterdeep.
Stop where you are.
It keeps scratching at itself, at its belly, at its neck, and it's just repeating the same phrases. Caw! Caw! Please help me! Caw! Help! Caw! Please help me! They're in my brain! Caw! They're in my brain! Help me, Caw!
Put it out of his misery.
Yeah. How close are
Shoot it
we?
in the head.
Shooting it with a rifle?
I don't know, crossbow.
Do you have a crossbow?
I have
Yeah,
a
you do have a crossbow.
I'm just like, this is freaking me the fuck out.
Caw! And it's saying it in a human voice. Not like bird sounding, whatever you would imagine a bird person. It's a human voice repeating, Caw, help me! It's in my brain. So, firing the bolt, it lands dead in Caw's chest or face, wherever you want it to land, you know? And falls over onto the ground.
I'm going to come towards it and I'm going to have a look at it, fully expecting it to erupt into snakes.
Oh, I'm so predictable. Yeah, so, as you're approaching, you can see the body is still kind of rumbling from underneath the feathers are shaking, the exposed flesh is kind of undulating under the surface. And then, yes, of course, snakes!
And an explosion of feathers.
An explosion of feathers and snakes and gore escapes from basically all of his orifices and bursting from his belly. They are slithering towards you all single-mindedly.
Snakes! I shout out,
On a turtle!
Do we need to roll initiative or just
God,
go
that's snakes.
We'll do this Lucy style, so
Okay.
I'd say first one's coming toward, maybe 2 of these snakes are coming towards you right now, since you were kind of moving a little bit further ahead.
I was just behind there.
You were just behind.
Okay,
So the majority, they're all coming towards you two right now.
I put my crossbow behind me, take out my dagger, and just try to cut off the head of the closest one.
Right, go ahead and roll.
Wait, it might work. 15?
Alright, 15, so you are able to slash the head off of one of the snakes that was rearing back to strike at you. More and more of them keep pouring out of the bird. And 2 of them are going to sneak up and try and bite at your legs. While you're distracted killing the other one. Feather Marshal, do you want to try and stop them? It would take up your attack, but you might be able to.
Can I throw 3? Okay. Oh no, I can't throw 3. I can throw 2.
Sure.
Shurikens.
Go ahead and roll 2 d20s for each attack.
Sure, okay.
24. 16.
So you're able to kill those 2, leaving yourself open to some of the remaining snakes coming to get at you. Oops. This is all happening short distance away from you guys. Let's see, it looks like one of them will hit.
Can I use cutting words to minus d6 from the attack?
Okay, it misses then, whatever.
Okay.
Cutting words on a
Yeah, that's my party.
snake. You're a dumb snake.
I'm tired of these motherfucking snakes and this motherfucking turtle. No.
Something along those lines.
That's an old reference. That was such a forced meme. But whatever, I liked it at the time. Alright, so snakes pouring out. I'd say there's a little swarm of snakes for everybody squaring off. So everybody, you get some snakes, you get some snakes, you get some things, you get some. So let's do Perdita first. You got one little swarm of snakes.
Did you happen perchance to watch Snakes on a Plane this week?
No, I'm not actually.
I already did the one Snakes on a Plane reference. We can't keep doing it.
Yeah. Ben just likes for things to erupt into
Snakes, yeah, it's
That's
just my thing.
It's been a theme
Snakes
throughout
in a realm.
Don't kink shame me, okay?
Snakes in a realm.
So initiative. Roll
Yes.
just like a dexterity roll to see who can strike first. You or the snakes?
17?
17. So you go first. Do you hit him?
Yes.
I believe I do.
Okay.
27.
They did.
Okay.
Snake Menace dealt with. Monk, Feather Marshal. Who goes first? You or the snakes?
9.
9. So snakes go first. Now let's see. Can they get you? They can get you. Let's see. 2 bites. 3 damage. No, wait. 3. No, that's not right. 5 damage. A towering 5 damage.
Quick question. Does it say poison damage?
No, this is the piercing part right now. Give me 2 constitution checks. I'm aware.
Okay. 2 constitution.
You're not in range of my saving throws. You're not in my aura.
How far can we you guys from us?
20 feet.
Okay, 10 feet. So.
22.
22. And the second one?
21.
Okay, very good. Let's see, then we'll go with Cool. Who goes first? You or the snakes?
The snakes.
Indeedy, the snakes. So a couple of them rear up to try and strike at, weak points in your armor, trying to find just some flesh to sink their teeth into. And your armor class is?
21.
21. Okay. That's really high, so they don't get it. Let's see, go ahead, strike back.
Yes, I hit.
That was almost one.
It was almost one.
Okay, got it.
Nice.
Let's see, Trixie, you and the snakes, who goes first?
20.
You go first.
Alright,
Got a little
I'm gonna cast
snakes.
Thorn Whip.
Right.
And group of snakes, so that'll be a 16 to hit.
Alright, 16 hits.
10 damage.
Okay. So you swat that group of snakes into pieces.
Oh, they did?
Yeah. And then Martin, who goes first? You and the snakes?
It's Dex.
Yes. 15? Okay, snakes go first. Do they hit? What's your AC again?
18.
18, so it looks like they do hit. And that is...
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's just on the side.
Oh, okay.
So that's just 7 piercing damage and 2 constitution checks, please.
So you get +2 to the constitution checks.
I gotcha.
You give me a second.
Good.
Whereas
That's 11. And that's 18.
Okay, no problem. So, go ahead and roll to see if you can hit the snakes. Yep, you got them. And so they attack you, and you can feel one of the snakes inject you. Yeah, like a hard lump of poison right into your thigh.
Ow.
Or no, not thigh. What's this part called?
Oh.
Calf. Yeah, right into your calf.
Okay.
Little baby cow. Yeah.
Do I take more damage from it?
No, you don't take any poison damage. But you can feel that lump in there, and reaching.
Going. I got it.
Smashed it.
Yeah.
Killed the worms, snakes, worms, whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, there you go.
Are we finished?
Yes, the body full of snakes is empty now. It's just a kind of exploded out corpse.
Oh, ow.
A lot of feathers everywhere. It's not pleasant.
If you get bit,
Any clothes? I
Hurts.
said there were robes.
Yes, it wore robes from the wizard college.
Can I switch one of the
Do
snakes?
healing.
Yeah, they're a bit damaged, I guess, worse for wear. A lot of rips and tears and grime and
Did I find any gold
fluids.
or items?
Still didn't have anything special.
No, I don't think he did have any special stuff with him, so...
Can Trixie inspect the fangs of one of the snake? I want to have a look at its poison area.
Alright, what over here?
I was going to do a medicine check. Check out her cough.
Okay. So let's do yours first, I guess. So you're doing a medicine check.
So that's 13.
Okay. Pretty average medicine check, I guess. You're going over the one, but you don't see any discoloration or anything. There was what looked like a small little lump of poison in there, but whenever you pressed against it, it kind of seemed like it went deeper in.
I want to specify that as I do this, I also use divine sense to detect the presence of good and evil.
Of good and evil.
Yeah, so it's sense anything affected by the Halo spell, no other location of any celestial fiend, undead.
So that's not good or evil, that's celestial fiends or undead, right?
Yeah, protection from good or evil. Such a stupidly named spell.
Yeah, I think they just named it that because that's what it used to be,
Yeah.
but now it's more like find
Different types of...
a different type of creature.
Celestial
Trixie's gonna
Is anything affected by the hollow spell location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet that is not behind total cover. Not behind total cover, okay. So you don't detect any celestial fiends or undead.
You'd get a slight fading from both of us, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, that would be, she's fayish, very, very fey.
I'm completely fey.
Completely fey, lived in the Feywild. And
Did you want investigation?
Shapeshifter.
No, this isn't Jessup. This is Trixie.
This is Trixie, yes, she's a drow, so they're not undead or fiendish or anything.
No, I guess
They're just dicks.
what
In
would this
general.
be to investigate the fangs of this thing?
Okay,
See if I squeeze it.
do like a survival check.
Survival. Okay, I will use my jack of all trades.
Yeah. Okay.
That will be plus 3, 19.
19, very good. So you are able to, you're looking at the snakes and you find that they're almost comically large and very hollow. There's like a hole at the tip of them, which many snakes have, but this one is kind of ridiculous. It's almost like a huge cavity. Ripping the snake in half, you can see that these fangs don't go to a poison sac. There's no venom or any glands like that in the snake. Instead, that these go all the way down through a large vein to the reproductive organs of the snake.
Ooh, that's not good. Just get a tourniquet around your thigh right now. We're gonna need to dig a piece of your leg out. I think it's put babies in you.
Oh shit!
I'm going to use my strength to create a tourniquet until somebody can get cloth.
Alright, your leg's completely broken. No, it's...
Who's really good with...
Well, I'm kind of the healer. So,
Can you dig it out yourself?
can you tell me what I'm looking
Give us a
for?
whiskey and a stick.
Yeah. Okay, so that is the question about whether this is like a lesser restoration or like cure wounds.
I would say it would
You can't
be
do greater restoration.
damaging yourself a huge amount, and then you could use
Okay, so I can
restore
just.
I'll cut it out.
to close the flesh back up again.
Oh, I got you. So I can literally damage myself and then.
I can cut it out and cauterize it at the same time.
Okay, that sounds terrible, but kind of like better than
My
the
fire
alternative. So sure.
Alright, so
So you can actually switch to fire.
I feel really
Like-
awkward about this whole situation because I've got him just like grabbing my thigh and you're just like, ha!
so you're all gathered around, ready to watch the show.
I turn
First,
around.
cut off
and look
everything,
the other
guys.
way.
Hey! Stop it.
Don't make her. Don't
Never
make
seen
her.
it before.
Leg armor is removed, I guess. And
Roll
these
up
guys
my
arm around
pants.
it, yeah. And so Feather Marshal slowly and probably a bit unsurely deep down, I'm not sure how he's hiding it well.
Objectively extremely confident.
Yeah, makes his way over to the leg with a
Triage on
flaming
the
dagger in
battlefield.
hand.
Wait, can I like give you some guidance perhaps? I can cast guidance.
Alright, go ahead.
Yeah, to deal with
So, the guidance will come into play in a moment. Go ahead and roll a critical hit damage for the dagger on Marno. So you hit and it's a critical, basically.
Okay.
Oh shit!
Plus more.
Oh gosh.
32.
So,
That's some yummy damage.
plunges the dagger, rending your thigh
Oh,
wide open. A small little silver snake you can see
Jesus Christ.
worming its way through the open wound now.
Right.
Grab it.
Behind the neck.
You're gonna grab it?
Yeah.
With your bare hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
How big? Sorry, okay, maybe I'm
Yeah, it's just a little thing, like, you know, maybe the size of an earthworm.
gonna stab it up with it then.
Yeah, you stab it with the dagger. I wouldn't say touch it with your hands, because, like, I put it in my hand. I went, there's a little whole wound in my hand now.
they've got tiny little things though, right? Surely we take some gnawing.
Yeah, I guess that's true, yeah. It's the snake that puts them in. They don't put themselves in. That makes sense. Okay, so yeah, you cut it out and burn it with elemental fire.
Jesus.
Ow!
So the damage has been done.
What would you do?
Okay, and then
Ow!
give me a medicine check then, just to see how
inspire
the cut was. That's what the guidance.
You have has the inspiration.
Yes,
I only
guidance.
lost 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Medicine
that's,
is-
yeah, so
Oh,
I
it's got the
better
guidance,
redo
it's got
that.
guidance.
Yeah.
So what are that guys? Plus 4?
Yeah.
Plus D4?
And you're inspired.
Which
Which
is?
you need it. So it'd be a D6 to add into your ability check if you need it.
19.
19. So, okay, it was a lot, but I would say after doing like a lesser restoration or healing magic on it, it'll heal up cleanly, no scars or anything like that. You actually did an okay job, but you just had to dig so deep to get to it that it was traumatic.
To the bottom.
Okay.
Ow!
Okay.
That probably is the most damage you've ever done with that.
Yeah, that's the most I've ever
So
rolled.
now,
I guess I
You've got
feel
earthly
myself.
right? So now we know what's going on.
Well, I suppose I'd do that much damage if the enemy lay down to just stab me right here. I
Surely,
suppose I'd also do a lot of damage.
yeah, but like
Not
with
trying to
guidance,
dodge.
you would know where to hit.
So, I think we can
I cure my wounds.
Carry.
introduce the next scene, but probably not come to a conclusion to it yet.
Okay.
So, not in 20 minutes or whatever. You know, the fights tend to take a while if we're not doing that whole you go thing. So,
I'd like to meet you.
Do we
Yu-Gi-Oh?
do we run into any more people down here full of snakes?
That is what we are coming to, yes. So following deeper and deeper into Grandfather, I almost said Kunla, into Grandfather Turtle's body, you finally come to the great, I'm just going to say flaps of flesh, you know, as tall as the biggest city gates you've ever seen, and thick as castle walls, these flaps open and close with his breath. The pull is enormous, but, you know, sticking together, you're able to, you know, using common sense, you're able to keep from getting sucked in to one of the lungs in particular. But this is where you enter either the left or right lung.
Lefty gives you righty tighty.
Yeah, this is just whichever one you want. They're both infected as shit.
Okay, shall we just go left first?
Okay, so entering the left lung, you know, you're kind of in a like tall safari grass of capillaries, or no, what are they called? The little
Alveoli.
Yeah, the little things in the lung that kind of move around.
Capillary.
Capillaries?
Cilia.
Celia, there you go. I was trying to come up with it. And I was
Okay, so yeah, it's like a long cilia, like a long plain or field of cilia. And making your way through this, you're getting grossed up with, you know, lung juice. And even to the untrained eye, you can see that the lungs are scarred deeply and rended with holes. Looks like
Smoking
tunnels have been dug into them, and just huge strips of flesh have been ripped off the walls. Wow, this is a diseased lung that you're in. And
Smokers.
here we go, okay. And standing up against the wall on a, on top of a giant snake, I guess not on the wall, you see a giant snake, silver scaled, with an elven woman standing on top of it. In one hand, lightning crackles, and in the other, flames roar. And across her body, you can see on her forehead, on her cheeks and chin, it is covered in glowing orange ruins. R-U-N-E-S. Not tiny little cities destroyed on her face.
Nobody ever needed that clarified.
I mean, you know, the viewers are fucking morons, so we gotta spell it out for them. You dumb bastards. Comment if you disagree.
Do the runes, do they look like the runes we saw with Kuno in that area? That with the glowy orange?
Actually, different language, it seems to be
They
written.
look like the ones on Moloch.
Yes.
So, Trixie is going to cause Technomic Pattern on it.
Well, I was gonna say, we probably just leave off here, because if we start the fight,
Yeah.
that's gonna take probably a while.
Yeah.
We're still going to do that. Next time.
Okay, yeah, just remember it for next
Make
week.
a note. Make a note. Yeah.
What a fight!
And we also have to roll initiative and stuff. But okay, so, face to face with a glowing mad wizard atop of a Naga. What will our heroes do?
That's Luna, isn't it?
Maybe. Yes, it is.
Motherfucker! Do you want her sheet?
Yes, I would like that very much for next week. So, battle lies ahead, and not just one but several as they try to eradicate the traces of Nagas and cultists from Grandfather Turtle's body. Find out if they can succeed next time on Dice, Nerds, and Nagas.
Bye.
Bye.